Greetings, beloved, and welcome to another episode of Gloria Omnia. This episode is going to be a three-part. It's going to be the first of three parts. We're going to do a whole series on the Ascension. The Ascension is a part of the story of Jesus, the Christ. We recently had Easter come and go. Easter was about Jesus raising from the dead. This is going to be about Jesus. He didn't just raise from the dead. He walked around among people, and eventually he was taken up to heaven. And basically in churches, there is a festival that's called, they have a single day for it. It's called Ascension Day. We're really big on Christmas. We're really big on Easter. And even those we've kind of messed up. We're going to talk about that in a second. But there's another part where they celebrate the Ascension, and it's really kind of overlooked. And I don't think it should be. And we're going to make a really big case why it shouldn't be overlooked. So let's dig right in. So Gloria Omnia, that's what this show does. It kind of digs up really cool things about life, about the life that surrounds us all, the great things that we should be paying more attention to. Why are we so miserable? Why do we have these political wars? Why do we have wars in general? I mean, wars where people are dying. Those are going on right now in our world. Why am I having this podcast about glory if life sucks so bad? You know, we have wars. We have to go to work. We struggle. We sweat. The people around us are dumb, stupid. There's so many things, so many difficult things that are around us. How can I run around with a podcast talking about glory and having us enjoy life and all that? Well, the Ascension's one of them. And it's so big, I want to do 3 episodes and an episode of Golden Nail on it. So I think it's a pretty big deal. So join me with this. But I think this world is a little different than most people think it is. I think this world is probation. This world is like you get out of jail and you have to prove yourself. Only I don't think we got out of jail and proved ourselves. I think it was kind of the way it started. And I think we all kind of agree with this deep down and in a way because we criticize others. We think other people are stupid. We think people should be living differently. We all kind of strive for things. We strive for truth. We strive to live a good life or do a good job at work or build something or we join political parties because we think certain things of life are important. And if everybody would just do the right thing, then life would be a lot better. Or I think we all believe deep down, whether you're willing to really grab it or not, that life is kind of a probation. You're meant to fulfill certain things. You're meant to succeed. You're meant to make this world a better place or a perfect place, the right place. We're to get rid of things that are wrong. They're like all kinds of things that we talk about, whether it's discrimination or prejudice or all the different things that we could talk about. I think deep underneath, we all think life is probation. We all do. I think if you're going to be honest with yourself, you do think life is like that. And I think all of that centers around Jesus. This Easter thing that came up, Easter, and we can do the same thing with Christmas. Easter's not about bunnies. It's not about baskets, and it's not about cheap candy. Christmas is not about Santa Claus and Christmas trees and presents. It was about something bigger. It was originally about something bigger. And there can be a debate as to how important those seasons really are, whether those traditions are important or not, but they center around the life of a person. And I think deep down, just like the probation, I think everybody knows how important it was that that man lived. And then that man rose from the dead. He conquered death. I think that thing is huge. I think Jesus is central to everything in this world. That he overcame death is huge. That's the answer to the whole story. When you talk about people being stupid and all that, that's Jesus conquering death. So the question is, if he conquered death, if he raised from the dead, why is he not here? Why is everything still not fixed? He overcame death, but death is still here. People are still doing stupid things. Why did Jesus leave? Was it all not even true? Did Jesus never really rise from the dead? He's not here. Well, Jesus rose for a reason. Jesus left this earth and went to heaven for a reason. See, when Jesus came to the earth, he fulfilled the law, is the way that it says it in Scripture. He must fulfill the law. He must fulfill all things, is the way that it put it. Jesus didn't just come here to die for sin. You've probably heard that. That's a real common thing that's talked about Christianity, is that Jesus came to die for sins. A lot of people don't even believe that. I'm going to give you even more. Jesus came to fulfill your role. You were supposed to fulfill the law. You were supposed to live a perfect life. You were supposed to win that probation. You were supposed to do certain things in this world, all of us, every minute, every breath. Adam was supposed to have fulfilled the law. He was supposed to have succeeded in that probation. He was supposed to have done everything right. Every breath was to be every time he breathed in and breathed out, it was to be for God. We were made in the image of God, and he was supposed to be a proper bearer of that image. He was supposed to be perfect like God is perfect. And he didn't. Him and Eve fell to the serpent. Satan came and he tricked them both, and they both fell. And we agree with that because every single son that has been there since, however many millions of people, billions of people have lived in all of our history, every single one of us agreed with it. We all jumped right on it. We didn't give God his due. But Jesus came. And he took up that mantle that the first Adam, the Bible calls Jesus the last Adam. Jesus took on that role to fulfill the law. And he fulfilled it all. All of it. Every single good thing a human was supposed to do, he did it all. For every single person. Every single breath you were supposed to make and give praise to God, and you didn't. You praised yourself, or you praised something else that wasn't as important as God. Jesus did it all. Not only did that, but he did actually die for sin. He didn't die for a sin. He didn't die for the concept of sin. He died for every single instance that every single person that he saves. Every single instance where we breathed in and didn't give appreciation to it for God. Every single time we were supposed to have done good for our neighbor. Every single time we were supposed to have built something wonderful. We were supposed to have properly tended to nature. We were supposed to build a great universe. One of the reasons we run around and we look at the mess that things are, why do hurricanes happen? Why are we possibly going to get hit by a meteorite and the whole world's going to go? That all happened because of us. We destroyed it all. But Jesus didn't. He did the exact opposite. Every single breath, every single situation that he got into, he gave God his due. And not only that, but when it came time, he was put on a cross and he died. He didn't die for an idea of sin. He died for every single sin that we do with every breath, every movement, every thought, every attempt where we failed. We didn't give God his due. And every single one of us deserved an eternity in hell for it, for just one of those screw-ups, let alone all of them throughout my entire life, your entire life, all of our lives, through all of history, every single individual. Jesus took that on. He wasn't supposed to die eternally for one of us. He was supposed to die eternally for all of us. He took on that much of God's wrath. And thankfully, he was God incarnate. So he could endure that. He endured it. Because he could. For one thing, he was that good. Every single breath that he took in was given praise to God. And as he took that wrath of God that was meant for all eternity, for however many billions of people, he still praised God through all of that. Can you imagine? I go to work and one little thing doesn't go my way and I go nuts. He endured perfectly through all of that wrath. And eventually, God restored him. God was merciful to Jesus, and he brought him back to life from the dead. That's Easter. Easter's huge. But this isn't about Easter. This is about the Ascension. That then Jesus left this earth and went up to heaven. Why? Why didn't he why didn't he defeat death and then immediately fix the problems? Why not? The problems are still here. Well, there's more to talk about yet. Jesus was raised up to the right hand of God to be seated at the Father's right hand. They call it the session. Jesus is seated at the right hand of God because he earned it. Because he was separate. He was so amazing and so great at what he did. He deserves that time where he's up there kind of on his own. And it's important that he was raised from the dead. And it was important that he did get ascended up to the right hand of the Father. Because if he had not been risen from the dead, humanity may have never been united to God in heaven. There was this big gulf that God was separate from us. But when Jesus, fully God, incarnate, fully man, God became man, that humanity was taken up into heaven. And now humanity, humanity won probation. We won our probation in Jesus. Jesus is seated at the right hand of God, having won. And he did all of that suffering in God's wrath. He did all of that fighting to be a good person in this world with the people that were trying to kill him and all the things that happened in his life. He deserves to be there. He deserves to be separate for a time. And we participate in that now. If you believe in Jesus Christ, you are now participating in him being seated at the right hand of God. The victory is won. As messed up as this world is, it's one of the reasons why I'm so interested in doing this podcast, Gloria Omnia, is because that glory of him having won is surrounding us. It's huge. It's so huge, and we don't talk about it. We can't even talk about Jesus being born, that baby in the manger kind of thing. We can't talk about that much Christmas. We talk about Santa Claus, and we talk about Christmas trees, and we talk about presents. Most people aren't even interested much in Easter. But when it is, it's about Easter bunnies and fake plastic grass and baskets and fake, kind of crummy candy. It's not even that good a candy. There's better candy. But that's what we cover up. This thing that's central to all of life. Death seems to be central to everything because everything dies. Or does it? Everything dies because everything fails at probation, but Jesus didn't fail. And the ascension is important because humanity has been reunited to God. And we get to participate in that. Those of us in Christ, it actually, the Bible says we are currently seated in heavenly places. Through the church, through the sacraments, through the Bible, we are united to Christ in heaven now. You have victories around you now, constantly. These glories, they're because Jesus won. Next time we're going to talk more about this, how, we do still suffer, and how the ascension makes sense to your suffering. Hope you join us for next time. I love this topic. I hope you're loving it too. We got 2 more episodes to show more about why Jesus ascended to the right hand of God. I hope you join us for the next ones. Carpe Gloria. Thank you very much for showing.